The year was 1917, when C.F. Meyer founded the Ohio Welding Company, the first job shop in Sandusky, Ohio. In 1952, the welding company was purchased by the Grumney brothers. Not long after the Grumneys took over, they hired a young man fresh out of the Navy. His name was Tony Guerra. After years of helping the Grumneys grow their business, Tony would eventually take over full ownership of what was then Lake Erie Welding and Fabricators in 1973.
Well, Tony was a man who loved his work. By his own admission, it came first before anything else in his life. He was a hard worker. He was loved by everyone. And, of course, we miss him. It wasn't easy. It was a job shop, and it was long, long hours and interruptions on weekends and holidays all the time. But then as he got established, and especially when the boys came into the business, then it got easier.
So the roots of LEWCO date back to 1917. So this year, the business is 100 years old. Like most businesses through the years, it has evolved, and obviously LEWCO is a much different business today than it was in 1917.
Ron and I, as we got involved in the business, decided that in order to grow, we needed to have our own lines of standard products. We experimented with a lot of different things, and the two that stuck were conveyor equipment and also industrial ovens and heating products. People,
Employees are, our lifeblood. We have dozens of people that have been here for 10, 20, 30. We have one individual that's been here over 40 years. He worked here when I was in high school, worked for my dad.
It does a lot for the community just to have this around here. There's not a whole lot of manufacturing jobs left, and then you got something like this that's right here in my hometown. Helps me out tremendously.
To me, I think it's more comfortable working for a family-owned company because they treat you like family.
The reality is I wouldn't be where I'm at without the Guerras. Jerry, Ron, and Tony, other than like my parents and that, there's nobody else that's had a bigger influence on me.
we believe in the Sandusky community. Therefore, we want to keep people in the area, attract new families here, and continue to build the workforce.
I know a lot of companies say the customer's number one. I feel like we try to live that, and I feel like the people here that have to service customers also live that.
The philosophy is to innovate. So we are constantly trying to drive unnecessary cost out of the product, improve the product, improve the use of the product.
Couldn't be prouder of those two boys. Both of them just put their heart and soul in it just like their dad did. I'm very proud of what they've done, and of course of what Tony started.
LEWCO has spent 100 years staying competitive by striving to innovate and by relying on a dedicated workforce and valued customers, while always remembering where they came from as they progress into the future. Because even though LEWCO's roots were planted a century ago, their story continues to be told with every evolving day.